So let's begin today with the first unit of our web programming, which is the World Wide Web. Now, you people have been using internet over a period of time. Uh, Let us first understand the history, how internet came into picture. Even in data communications, you must have gone through the history of that Department of Defense in the US, in the US Army. So initially, when the people wanted to communicate, they before the internet, the only way of communication was either through letters or a person going and giving the messages, and these manual modes, various other manual modes. But then at one point of time, the US Department of Defense, they got interested into developing application wherein they wanted that these messages or any for the army, especially was this Department of Defense wanted to develop an application wherein the army base could communicate with each other. Now, what happened was, since the that time the computers were definitely not like the way they are now. So you have studied the generation of computers. Then, considering those things, they thought of developing an application wherein these people who are involved in armies and different bases located at different locations, they could communicate. That is, they could send an important message, a secret message, and only the people who had this access could be able to read or encrypt and decrypt those messages. So when they came up with this particular setup there, it was called as ARPANET. Okay, ARPANET. So this was specifically known as Advanced Research Projects Agency. ARPA stood for Advanced Research Projects Agency. Now, what happened when this ARPANET came into picture? Definitely, it was not for the use of public. Only those people involved in that army camp were able to use it. Then, and also the communication there, how it would take place is only between the labs. That is a small area, not also very. This ARPANET also was not able to help them to communicate for larger distances. So it was like something you can say it as just a private network there. So this is just the brief history of the internet. And now, since now in today's generation, you know that it is not like internet is only capable of communicating in a small geographical area. We are globally connected. So now you tell me, what could be the definition of internet? How could you define internet? I'm waiting for your response. Somebody, you tell me in your own words, since you people have been using internet for such a period of time. You should be able to at least put it in your own words. How do you tell what the internet is? How do you define it?
It provides information.
Okay, that could basically internet is you're telling that one of its features or the service that it is giving you. If I have to ask you the definition, how do you define an internet?
Internet is a huge network that contains the data.
Yes, definitely it contains data. Then let us say, see, when we talk about internet, you tell me what internet, like what devices come into picture. Basically, electronic devices, right?
Ma'am, internet is a network that connects many devices.
Hmm.
It is a
Correct.
network, ma'am. Connects
Yes.
the devices to each other, ma'am.
Very good. Very correct. So basically, internet is nothing but a collection of computers or any other electronic devices. And the important thing here is there are no restrictions to the number of devices that can be connected with the help of internet. So basically, we are trying to form a network here, a communication network. So you can see that these days it is not mandatory that you only connect computers to computers or mobile to mobiles. It is possible that in the network, in the same network, you have mobile devices, you have computers, you have printers, you have scanners. So all these electronic devices, all of them are definitely not computers, but all of them can communicate with each other with the help of internet. Then can you tell me, when we talk about internet, what protocol does this internet work upon, or what protocol does it use?
Ma'am, HTTP,
Yes, one is HTTP. Again,
then TCP.
yes. So basically it is TCP/IP, which is Transmission Control Protocol and Internet Protocol. Let us not consider now HTTP. It will definitely come in the picture when we move ahead with the chapter. So now you can see in the slide here, what is an internet? Internet is a global communication system that links together thousands of individual networks. See, you concentrate on the last part, that is thousands of individual networks. Now, basically, when I talk about internet, and if I have to compare it with the history, that the first internet, that is the ARPANET. So what happened there is, only in a specific room or only within that specific area they were able to communicate. And also, see, when ARPANET was there, they were not able to send videos or they were not able to send any audio clips. It was just a small encrypted message there. But today, if you see, you are able to communicate with the help of this internet globally. There are no restrictions. And also, what happens is, we are trying to connect individual networks. That is, if I have connected my computer and my mobile phone here, and I want to communicate with these two devices out of India. So basically, there is another network that is existing there, which is again connected with the help of internet. So basically, the use of this internet is to allow exchange of information between any number of devices that are connected in the network. The third point, internet helps in transfer of messages through mail, chat, video, and audio conferencing. So I don't have to tell you on this. You already know now. If you just consider a single application with which you are able to communicate and internet is in the picture, you know that you are able to send text messages. It can be videos, it can be emails. The mail also has the facility of you attaching a file to it. Then you are able to share your documents through Drive with again with the help of internet there. You are able to have video calls, audio calls. So this is the use of an internet. So now one important thing here is, these days without internet, nothing is, like we are not able to carry out even our day-to-day activities. So earlier, what would happen? If you recall, when you were in school, and if you remember going with your parents, you had to go. If you say, assume you are going to pay the bill of electricity, or say the landlines we had, telephone bills, you had to go stand in the queue and then pay the bill manually. But now everything is online, and online we mean that it is through the help of internet. So if internet was not there, probably we would not be engaging the online classes now. We would be still with the old traditional methods, where students are seated in a class and a teacher, a tutor is there. So this online way, the way technology has processed, so this online classes would definitely not be there. Also, if you have any time gone through the tutorials which are already recorded, like say Udemy or on YouTube, so what is happening there? Some part of the video is already recorded and it is already existing there over the internet, but you are able to access it any number of times and you are able to view it. So there are no restrictions again. Then when we say this thing about the internet, the next thing that comes into picture is IP address. So can you tell me what is an IP address? Or maybe at least you give an example of an IP address.
Ma'am, an IP address is a address which is provided to a device.
A device in a network, right? Any device which is present in the network will definitely have an IP address. For example,
One we have is that 192.168.
yes. So when you tell me this, 192.168, say dot 0.1. So how many parts are there in this? Just go through mentally and tell me how many parts are there.
192 is one part.
Hmm?
161
Yes.
is
Ma'am,
one.
four
Four parts.
parts.
Parts. Now, what are these IP addresses? Now, basically, every machine which is there, see, again, it is not mandatory that it only has to be a computer. Even if it is your mobile device, even if it is a printer, if it is a scanner, all these devices, if they are connected through a network, they will definitely have an IP address. So, this IP address is going to be unique, means different. It is going to be different for all the devices. And with these IP addresses, we are able to identify a particular device or a particular system in the network. Now, these IP addresses are 32-bit numbers. Okay, they are divided into parts of 4. Now, what important thing here is, since these days, what is happening is the number of devices are increasing. That is, the use of electronic devices in the network is increasing. Initially, when computers came into picture and when the internet was there, it was like, only when the very rich, affordable people would have computers or laptops, and we would look to it as a kind of a status. Okay, they have a laptop. So that was a status symbol wherein, say, like if 10 families are there, only one person would have a laptop there or one desktop. But now, how it is, every individual is owning 3 or 4 laptops, 3 or 4 mobile phones. So all these devices, when connected in the network, are increasing. And then there is a shortage of providing these IP addresses to the devices. So now, what you must have heard of the format IPv4. Okay, that is a internet protocol, this IP address format. Usually we try to connect through this IPv4. But now what is happening is, since the devices are increasing day by day, they have come up with a new format, that is IPv6. Instead of sticking to the regular 32 bits, they are trying to expand it to 128 bits. Because definitely with coming time in the future, the number of devices in the network will increase. And again, now, due to, say, maybe this one reason, COVID, even those people or those students who did not have desktops or who did not have a laptop, who did not have a smartphone, everyone is trying to own now these devices, and everyone is having an internet connection. That is the need of the hour. So again, you need to provide an IP address to these devices. So for this sake, they are slowly trying to expand from 32 bits to 128-bit sequencing. That is, we are trying to move forward from IPv4 to IPv6. Still, it is not implemented completely here, but the process is going on. So this is IP address. Now, next thing you tell me, if I ask, which is easier, remembering, I'll give you an example. Remembering www.flipkart.com is easier, or remembering the IP address 192.168.0.10 is easier?
First one.
The first one, definitely. Uh, what now, you can, whenever you go through a browser, okay, let us, before we go to that, we'll complete the World Wide Web. Now we have understood the internet. Then what is web? See, you usually use these terms interchangeably. That is, you try to use the web or you say the internet. But there is a difference between these two things. So what is web? Basically, when we talk about www, firstly, it stands for World Wide Web, which is also called as web. Then this World Wide Web, okay, what does it contain? Basically, this World Wide Web, when we say, it is nothing but a collection of websites or web pages. Have a look at the second point. The World Wide Web is a collection of websites or web pages stored in web servers and connected to local computers through the internet. Then what are these websites or web pages? So as I said, flipkart.com or amazon.in, or you say rcu.bca.in. Then you have gccbca.org. So these all are websites. Now when I talk about a website, if I say flipkart.com, right? So what is that flipkart.com? Let us go through the browser and let us check. Till then, you can tell me what is flipkart.com or what is a website in general.
Ma'am, it is a domain.
Okay, it is a domain. Let me just
Or
open.
hyperlink.
Or hyperlink. What do you mean by hyperlink?
Link that leads to another link.
So basically with the help of that hyperlink, you are trying to open another page. You're trying to load some content again, correct? Okay. Now let me show you this. This is visible, right? Flipkart site is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So have a look at this. Okay. What I did now, I have got the internet connection through the browser, through the Google Chrome browser. I have opened a website. The URL of the website here is flipkart.com. Now remembering flipkart.com is easier when compared to remembering the IP addresses for the humans. But then for the computers, what is important is converting these URLs to their respective IP addresses. So that is what he mentioned as DNS or domain name servers. Now, before going to DNS, what is important here is you understanding that every URL here will be having the relative IP address. So if you are good at remembering the IP addresses, you directly mention the IP addresses here. But a more standard procedure that is followed is the humans remember names or these alphabets easily than numbers. So you type this, and the task that happens is the respective this URL is converted to the respective IP address and it is looked up in the server there. A server called as DNS, wherein these IP addresses and their respective URLs are mentioned, and that thing is loaded for you on the at the client side here. So now when I talk about these World Wide Web, so this World Wide Web is they're saying it is a collection of a website. So this is a website. Now what does these websites contain? Basically, if I'm loading this, the first page, this is a web page. This is called as a web page. The moment I click on mobiles here, again a new page is opening up. So this is a hyperlink. See, the moment I moved here, this is turning to blue. So this is an hyperlink. Hyperlink meaning it is trying to open another document there. So that is a link. A link is provided here. The moment this is clicked, another web page is going to open, or say another website could also be opened. So this is what is World Wide Web, which is a collection of websites and web pages. Websites basically are made up of what? They are made up of text. You can see here a website is made up of what? It contains text, it contains images, it can contain videos, it can contain again what? What else can it contain? You must have used so many websites, no? Online websites. So what does a website or a web page contain?
Buttons.
Buttons. They are widgets basically, text boxes. So you can see here you have a checkbox. So these all together will make up a web page and many such web pages. So if you look here, let us say that electronics, TV and appliances, men, women, baby and kids, all these etc. web pages are together forming the website. Let us now go back to the slide here. Then, so these website contain text pages, digital images, audios, videos, etc. So the users can access the content of these sites from any part of the world over the internet using their devices such as computers, laptops, cell phones, etc. Why this fourth point is important is because when initially the internet came into the picture, it was only available to the computers. It was not available to mobile devices. So today the technology has advanced so much that you are able to access it either through desktops or laptops or even your cell phones. So that is what is the World Wide Web. Now with this, can you differentiate between web and the internet? What could be internet and what could be web? Or is there no difference at all? Both are same.
different, ma'am.
They're different. How or why? How can you differentiate? Internet is what? It is basically a collection of computers, basically a collection of networks with the help of devices. But what is a web? World Wide Web? Web is a collection of what? Documents, or web is a collection of web pages, right? So you are able to access these websites or web pages with the help of internet. Are you getting the difference here? Internet is basically a collection of computers. It is a collection of devices which are helping us to communicate. When we talk about World Wide Web, it is a collection of websites or web pages. And what does these website or web pages contain? Websites definitely contain what? Web pages. Web pages contain what? They contain text documents, they could contain images, they could contain hyperlinks. Are you getting the difference between these two?
Yes, ma'am.
All the students who are actually paying attention, are you able to differentiate between internet and the World Wide Web?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what is a web browser? Or I mean, the slide is there, but what, in your own terms, what is a web browser? Give examples of web browsers.
Google Chrome.
Google Chrome, most commonly used.
Firefox.
Yes,
Firefox,
Firefox.
Internet Explorer.
Opera.
Opera. Yes. Then, can you name the first web browser? No idea? Okay, I'll tell you the history of this web browser. When the first web browser came into picture, no, it was not able to load. Now, you see, today's web browsers, if I just now I went to Google Chrome and I went to Flipkart site, I was able to load all the heavy images there, heavy data, lot of text was there, lot of pictures or high definition pictures were there, right? But when this first web browser it came up, it was only able to load a text document, only text, nothing else. So imagine how much we have progressed ahead, how much we have improved in terms of technology, that we are able to load so many things on a web browser now. So the first graphical user interface web browser was called as Mosaic, MOSIAC. So by the end of 1993, this Mosaic came into picture, okay? And it was developed especially for Linux kind of systems. It was not there for Windows. It was developed for Linux based systems. And it was the first graphical user interface web browser that came into picture. And with the help of that Mosaic only, they were able to load images, they were able to load websites which contained images, videos. It was more than text that time. So that was a big achievement in the year 1993. Okay. And then next thing, when we talk about web browsers, basically this web browser is allowing you to connect the client to the server. Now, what is this client and server? If I want to access something which is existing on the World Wide Web, I want to access any website on the World Wide Web, I will go and access it through my browser only. I can make use of a Google Chrome, I can make use of Firefox, Opera, anything. So I'm going to go there and type the IP address or the URL and say search. Then from where this data is going to be loaded on your screens, like when I type flipkart.com, from where did that data come up to me and it got displayed? No, that page got displayed. So that data is getting loaded from a server. So what I am acting as a client here, a person who is trying to make a request to load some data on the browser is called as a client. And from where that data is coming, from a server. Server is again a computer only wherein all such data is stored, and that data is requested by this browser. The server responds to it and is loaded on the client's machine here. So then how this browser is acting? Have a look at the second point. Browser provides a software interface that allows you to click hyperlinked resources on the World Wide Web. So basically a browser is an interface, a software interface between the client and the server. Now, as I told you here, have a look at this. Browsers were used only for browsing due to the limited potential. That is, they were only used for browsing textual documents. So today they are more advanced. You can use them for emailing, you can use them for chatting, you can use them for transferring multimedia files, etc. Right? You are able to access facebook.com, that is a website again, with the help of the browser. You are able to communicate there, you are able to chat with the help of Facebook. So you can do various activities with the help of the browser here. Also, one important thing that we'll be learning the use of a browser here is how can we develop a code? How can we test it on the browser? How can we run it on the browser? So here the use of the browser will be throughout the end of the web programming, throughout the end of this sixth semester. So this is what is a web browser. Now you tell me, you must have observed two things. Let us go back again to the browser. You can drop your attendance as we are running out of time. Now you have a look at the browser. So is the Flipkart site again visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Just look at the URL here. How does the URL begin now? It is starting with HTTPS and you can see a lock here. So what is the difference between, first you tell me the full form. What does HTTPS stand for?
Hypertext Transfer Protocol Security.
Correct.
Hypertext transfer protocols.
Yes. One of you have told me what is HTTP and one of you have told me what is HTTPS. You have expanded. Now can you tell the difference between HTTP and HTTPS?
HTTPS is a secured one which is required for payments and all.
Correct. So what is HTTP then? Basically, whenever, can you name any sites which have HTTP? Let us check. Let us check for your RCU website whether it is HTTPS or HTTP. Okay, it is HTTPS. Any other site you are mentioning? Even that is HTTPS. So tomorrow you people come and find out sites which exist with HTTP. Now what is the difference here is, browsers are able to load various range of websites, even if they are secured or not secured, both will be loaded. But most of the times whenever you are supposed to make payments, it is always better that the sites, you can say the trustworthy sites, which are properly encrypted and nobody is able to hack, such sites will always be HTTPS. That is, your data is secured there. That is, put in simple terms, HTTPS stands for a more secured platform rather than HTTP. So you can tell me tomorrow examples of those sites which start with HTTP. Okay. So this will be one assignment. So you have any doubts in today's class, or you want to share something regarding the internet, World Wide Web, anything? Okay, so I will end the session here. Please do the homework and come up with at least 3 sites which are beginning with HTTP.
Ma'am, all the blog websites are not secure. No?
We'll check. Can you tell one? Anyways, the screen is open. Let me check out. You have a blog?
Blog? No.
Anyone in the class who's writing blogs?
Ma'am, I write.
Yes, tell me your site.
Ma'am, blogs of Ajay Zad.
Blog.
Of Ajay Zad. Ma'am, but that's HTTPS, ma'am.
That is HTTPS. Okay.
Yes.
Then you find out. You people find out and come tomorrow. Okay. We will see what is going to be the difference between HTTP and what is the difference between HTTPS. So with this, I will end the session. We'll
Can news channels and those article who write will have FTP?
that is blog only, no? That is what you were saying, right? If you see, if you are going like for your projects, no, now you will need servers. If you are going to go for online servers, which will offer you free service, so it will be mentioned there, like hostinger.com is there. Then you have 000 web host. So in their packages that you see there, see, even if you go for GoDaddy, they'll give you websites with secure, that thing is mentioned there, HTTPS protocol is followed. So that is why I'm saying you go through, maybe you can go through these websites and see if anybody is just trying for your projects, no, you register there and have a simple URL there, which is free and not paid one. They'll give you with an HTTP, meaning that server is not secured there for your website. It is not secured, but there are initially no RCU and VTU sites. They were not HTTPS. Last semester when I was teaching this for your seniors, I had showed them RCU. It was HTTP. It was not HTTPS. So they have upgraded now. They have gone to HTTPS. So that way I want you to come up with sites rather than we discussing whether it is a blog site or whether it is a new site. I want definite websites there which are beginning with HTTP.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So there is one site here. One of you have put up in the chat box. Okay, have a look at this. It is your CET website, Karnataka Examination Authority. Okay. Have a look. Okay, it is showing HTTPS.
So I had started, it was showing
It was showing HTTP, no? Even I saw that.
HTTPS.
Yes. So who has given me this link? Vinaya. But initially when I copy pasted, it was HTTP. Never mind. We'll check out for this tomorrow. So whenever this HTTP is there, it is going to show as not secure. That one thing I wanted to tell. So Ajay also has given up here Alibaba.com. Let us check for this. It is also secured. It is showing this lock. It is HTTPS. Anyways, so one important thing what it is, these nowadays all the servers are providing secured services to their customers. Before, majority of the sites were like who could not, especially your RCU and VTU websites, you see how slow they are when they're trying to load your examination results. You have to wait for a long amount of time because of their server connectivity issues and the space that is given to them on the server. Whether the site is secured or not is another question. If you are paying the fees online, etc. Chalo. So we'll end the session. Left with only 1 minute. We'll continue tomorrow.